Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Open our second half of today's concert with another march, this one composed by a Scotsman, William Germain, entitled The President. This is a very challenging march to play. More black notes than there is space in the page that is white. And more than likely, you may not have actually heard it previously, but it sure is fun for the brass to play. This bold and authoritative quick march was originally written specifically for a standard British-style brass band, which we are, and for use in both ceremonial and concert performances. It is characterized by the use of heroic brass fanfares, driving rhythms, and a sense of power. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern Stars welcoming you back with William Germain's The President. Anyway, that was the president, and very happy to get that going. No, it's a nice challenge to have to do. Set around Napoleon's Italian campaign of 1796, Jacques Offenbach's The Drum Major's Daughter is a three-act opera comique, or operetta, which is very rarely, if ever, fully performed. However, the overture has remained in the symphonic and, fortunately for us, the brass band repertoire. The liveliness of the overture portrays the excitement and romance to be found in the operettas by Offenbach, master of this mid-19th century medium, which captivated the sophisticated audiences of Paris and later audiences in centers of culture throughout Europe and America. Offenbach's most well-known overture was actually Orpheus in the Underworld, which contained a movement which became synonymous with the can-can dance of French cabarets. Sorry guys, no can-can dances today. But I think you will hear Offenbach's distinct stylings with this overture, originally written in 1879 and wonderfully arranged here for brass band by Michael Gallahue. The Southern Stars bring you the overture to Offenbach's The Drum Major's Daughter. Composed in 1902 and widely considered one of the most effective and popular street marches ever written, with even John Philip Sousa famously ranking it, among the top three of its kind. The national emblem march by Edwin Eugene Bagley is still, to this day, frequently showcased in patriotic concerts and is considered a staple of American band repertoire. The late Frederick Fennell, conductor of the Eastman Wind Ensemble, considered this to be as perfect as a march can be. The story behind composing of the march is that Bagley, while traveling by train with his band, was so unsatisfied with the ending of the march that he threw it away. Members of the band rescued the manuscript, rehearsed it, and performed it for Bagley. And lucky for us, Bagley then set out to publish it. Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Eugene Bagley's National Emblem March. Have you heard that one before? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's pretty popular. And a really good march. Next up for the Southern Stars is a wonderful piece that has become something of a standard since it was first recorded. The Folks Who Live on the Hill was composed by Jerome Kern and lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein for the 1937 film High, Wide, and Handsome. Can anybody name who starred in that? No, I didn't think so. When I saw Jerome Kern, I'm thinking like Showboat. This is a long time ago when these were wrote. The song was become something of a jazz and pop standard, recorded by artists such as Bing Crosby, Peggy Lee, Bette Midler, and Eric Clapton, to name a few. Returning to the front of our stage today is our own man of the mellow tone, our own Chris McCormick, jazz professor at Tennessee Tech, to offer his rendition on the flugelhorn of this wonderfully Latin-flavored composition from 1937, The Folks Who Live on the Hill. Our next selection is Prismatic Light. It is known primarily as a vibrant and energetic concert opener composed for brass band. Now, when I put the program together, I realized this really wasn't a concert opener because we're playing it next to last. But I thought if it's energetic, it might wake you up. So we can get ready to send you out with another march for our next piece after this. But anyway, we wanted to add it here to showcase the technical dexterity and the bright, cohesive sound of a brass ensemble. Written for brass band by Alan Fernie in 2012, Prismatic Light is characterized by its engaging, fast-paced nature and a bold and festive feeling, utilizing a driving tempo, spirited melodic lines, and its use of full band textures. Wow, I don't know who wrote that, but he must be the publisher. The Southern Stars present to you Prismatic Light. Well, I guess we could use that as a closer, too. Yeah, it's a bit energetic, isn't it? Well, before we play our final selection, The Southern Stars want to once again express our deep gratification and appreciation and thanks to all of you as our audience and benefactors for your attendance and support. We all couldn't do it what we love without you, and if it was your first experience hearing the Southern Stars, we invite you to attend our future concerts, most of which will take place here at the home of the Southern Stars, the Cumberland County High School. We would especially like to once again thank Principal Dr. Cassie Warner, Assistant Principal Blake Allen, and Band Director Bruce Johnson for allowing us to use this outstanding facility. And as I said earlier, Bruce has been back hard at work as our lighting and sound person in the booth at the rear. So let's please give him your appreciation. In addition, we're also grateful to the Jet Theater teacher, Angela Robbins, to allow us to utilize the stage art for our concerts. I don't know if you realize it, but you know, I'm sure she has a classroom someplace. But I think she considers this the classroom. So, you know, they're here on the stage quite often and preparing for their next event, which I actually don't have the date. Do you know what it is for the concert? They're the theater? Not off the top.
Early April.
Okay, be watching out for it. At the end of the concert, Dr. Sudduth and our soloist will come out for a final bow for you to recognize them for their contributions. After that, they will then proceed down the left aisle to the lobby to greet you as you leave and accept your thanks for their performance. As is, and by the way, you know, sometimes when people say that, give thanks, it doesn't mean you have to give them a tip. Dr. Sudduth has never said anything about that, but no, we'd be happy just to have you give us your feedback of what you thought. Okay, so they're going to come down at aisle over there, so if you please stay seated until they've progressed. It's only going to be 3 people, so it shouldn't take too long. We'd also like to ask you to please refer to the musical events box in your program under the list of Southern Stars personnel. Now, in particular, we want to draw your attention to 3 things that are coming up all here in the month of March. The first is the community band concert, which is actually this coming Thursday at 7. 7 o'clock?
7.
Correct, 7, right? And so attend there. They do a great job. So here, Thursday at 7 o'clock. And then the Plateau Women's Chorus has concerts on March 22nd and 29th. They didn't have room to put them where they're located, but I think they're local churches. And then finally, the Cumberland County Playhouse's March 13 opening of the comic thriller Death Trap. Okay, that's it for announcements. We're ready to move on and finish the concert to present another spirited piece, march, that embodies energy and structure of a classic march. While designated with a rhythmic drive necessary for marching, the Midwest March contains a wonderful melodic contrast suited for concert performance. We again thank you for joining us for today's concert, and we will see you again here at Cumberland County High School as we close out our season 18 on Sunday, May the 3rd, for the official brass band of the state of Tennessee's concert. We wish you safe travels home now, and we want to close today's concert with our presentation of Midwest March.